Go for it, Toodles.
Peace and toodles.
That's me.
Well. Welcome back, fellow strangers.
Welcome back indeed to another episode of Traversing the Strange World.
With peace.
And Toodles. That's me.
That's him over there. And that's me
Toodles.
right here in this chair.
That's Peace over there. You can't see him, but that's Peace.
So to all my fellow strangers, I would like to say Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
Chag Sameach. Happy Hanukkah. Today, this is our Hanukkah special.
What is Hanukkah exactly?
Well,
We're getting into the Christmas season. The lights are going up, and the songs are plaguing every radio station there is these days, except maybe the rock ones.
oh,
Man.
no. I hear Christmas
then
songs on every station.
Yeah. Even they play one or two here and there. You can't escape it this time of year.
Even at the dispensary where I work in the wintertime, even though we go by a playlist that, coworkers they add, for some reason, one of my coworkers just feels the need to incorporate a little bit of Christmas music into the playlist. So even at work,
Oh, no.
I was hearing Christmas music all day. Yeah.
The weather outside is frightful. What are they singing like Phoenix this time of year for that song? It's like 70 degrees.
You would know, you lived out there.
70 degrees, sunny, nice breeze. Walk outside and you're like, wow, this is where to be.
There's another song that we also hear this.
Pine trees don't grow out there.
Dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, a dreidel I will play.
What's a dreidel?
Dreidel? Have you ever seen in those tops? It's like a spinning top. Maybe in within... I'm trying to think of where you may have seen this. I don't know how much you know about Judaism. It's a top, basically, and on each side there's a block. There's basically the top is a block with 4 sides on it. Okay. Each side has a Hebrew letter, and whichever side it lands on upright, it basically determines where you have to go. It's like, I've heard the legend is that game was developed in the time that we're going to be discussing on this episode, when the Jews were being persecuted by the Greeks, and they'd be studying Torah within their homes, and the Greeks would come in and they'd break out this game, dreidel, to, we're not studying Torah, we're just playing a little game.
Interesting. Yep. What were the directions of these Hebrew letters? What were some of the things that had to happen?
I think one was a chet, one was a tav, one was a noon, one is a gimel.
So what happens with each one when you roll it?
Noon, I think, means no, you don't get any coins.
Oh.
Tav means you get to take the other people's coins in the game, because there's coins. Or chocolate. Usually they're chocolate coins.
This isn't okay, I thought this was like a...
Gambling.
No, like a life path kind of thing.
No.
We're talking just in the context of the game.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh. No. And then, let's see.
Dang it, I gotta go to Samaria and...
I can't remember what chet is. Chet. So, why don't we hop on over to the pondering segment, Toodles?
The first segment.
This is the updates, reflections, and ponderings of Peace and Toodles.
What have you been pondering?
I was about to ask you the same thing. What have I been pondering? I think, so I got this karaoke machine, right? I'm thinking I might see about, there's this nursing home over by the gym that I go to. I'm thinking about volunteering over there to do karaoke and sing, get some more practicing in the old country songs. I enjoy singing to an audience that, well, they're the target demographic of people who appreciate Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, different songs I like to sing. So, and plus
a little bit of Elvis in there, some
I'd
Dion.
I'd let them sing karaoke too, you know.
Oh, dude, that'd be fun. Actually,
Yeah,
just singing along with all these people in a nursing home, dude. That'd be fun, actually.
So I was pondering.
I'll come with you.
That I think that's something that's good. It's good for a man to do. It's just a good thing to incorporate into the human experience. Is like being involved in the community in a good way, you know, in a way of perhaps serving the community. And that's one thing I thought of. There's a few other ideas I'm tossing around, but
you should hit up Nate Visen to come sing with you when you do it.
The idea of just kind of straightening up your, you know, being an act of service to your little corner of the world in some way. When I was a teenager in my late teens, there's a soup kitchen in our little town that I'd volunteer at on Thursdays, and kind of wanted to get back into doing something like that. Something along that vein, you know?
I think that's a noble cause. Spreading good to some people that are often forgotten. Especially, you know, when you get to be that age, all your... like my grandpa, for example. He's told me, like, everybody I went to school with, all my friends, like, I'm the only one left.
Yeah.
The oldest one, and everybody's died. Like, man, I can't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if I'm the last one? Like, you die, and Jake goes, Austin goes, all the closest friends, you know, the people I went to school with, you know, Ty, Fulton, Blaze.
I'm going to die an old man in a weightlifting accident.
We covered that on, like, episode 3 or something.
That was on a non-released episode.
Oh, no way.
It's in the bin.
Dang it. Was it on that book one?
No, it was on the one where we start out, and it's like, just like we didn't even have anything planned.
We didn't talk about anything good. Yeah, so when you go, it's got to be a weightlifting accident. You know, if it's something that, like, maybe you're going to be maimed the rest of your life, I'll just come over and drop an extra 45 pound on you.
But you've been thinking about that, like,
but don't
if we
worry.
went first.
If I see you go in a weightlifting accident, I'll throw a couple extra 45s on there. Make it look like you're stronger.
Yeah, if it's like 315, put 405 on.
Exactly.
I got you. I appreciate it, man.
I got you.
You're a good buddy. You're a good friend.
Well, I don't contemplate just freaking dying all the time, but I'm just like, that's a thought I've had occasionally. Like, what does that look like? You know, what will that be like? Everybody that you know or became close to, you know, they're all gone. You're the last one left, and all this around is like the next younger generation that you're kind of outside of worrying about. You know, I don't care what these kids think of me or anything. I'm like, I lived my life. I'm good. Regrets or satisfaction included, like all that. Like, you know, what's that like, knowing that, man, do I have another 10 years? You know, who do you talk to about it? Who's going to be, you know, have any kind of relatable feelings or anything to you?
That's something that I like, act of service that I wanted to get into is like old people or people that are like on their deathbed, coming in and talking to them, like people who don't have somebody to talk to, and getting in that last conversation with them. You know, what are the type of things that you're pondering at that point?
You know what, though?
You know what? If you have somebody to talk to, what are you going to talk to them about? I'm interested in knowing and hearing what they have to say.
This might be cynical, but if I saw that, like if some young 30, 20, whatever, 40-year-old came talking to me when I'm 85, 90, whatever, wheelchair bound and racing people, you know, down the hallways in our wheelchairs in the nursing home, you know, squeezing on the butts of the nurses because I can, and I have excuses because I'm just old and senile. You know, I think would probably just think like, and this kid's just here to be nice. Like, he doesn't actually care. Like, he thinks he cares, maybe. Like, he's trying to do good, which good for him, but like, ultimately, like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. That's awfully specific. Like,
At the rate I'm going, I'll be the only person in a nursing home flirting with the nurses while I'm jerking off with Jergens. And how's that, Eminem? Like, it's like that.
I'm not familiar with it, but
that's an oldie.
I don't know. I think there's plenty of folks that be receptive, you know, and so folks probably there's things like that exist out there. Like, I'm not gonna just like show up and. I'd like to get involved with some sort of like organization or.
That's not to discourage anything that you're talking about doing with the karaoke. You're asking people.
I'm not going to be like show up in a nursing home and be like, "Who's dying?" Send me their way. No. I'm saying I'd like to get involved with some sort of organization. You know, I'd like to at some point in my life incorporate conversations like that with people and something I'd like to learn about the human predicament.
I agree with that. Like that's what I mean. Like I'm saying, like personally, like when I'm in that boat, when I'm in that chair, that wheelchair, you know, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't like it. Just maybe I would just give up hope at that point. You know, just wait for death. What even matters? I'm stuck in this nursing home anyway.
I don't think you're gonna be in a nursing home.
No, dude, I'm gonna get assassinated. I think probably.
Nice.
I work with Nate Bison too much.
Well, if it's for a noble cause, you know.
Freedom of speech ain't so free when it costs a life. That could be a whole topic right there.
What?
So let's get just free speech.
Hey, if it was a cause that I really died or really cared for, you know, and was passionate about, and I absolutely believed it to be the truth, and I were to die for that, you know, be much more.
Everybody's got a hill.
Much more meaningful to die than in the traditional way people typically die.
Well, everybody's got a hill that they're probably willing to die on. It's just, have you found it yet? You know, like I think of my dad. He wouldn't put his life on the line for anything except maybe me, like personally. If, you know what I mean? Well, no, I mean like he doesn't have a cause. You know, there's not something that like he gave up his biggest passions to raise me. So like I see that, I notice it. But as far as anything else, like sports, says that doesn't affect my life at all. Politics, like well, except for taxes, like I don't care what the heck they say or do. You know, as long as I keep my house and. You know, I'll still pay my slavery 50% taxes all in at the end of the year, but, you know, ultimately I don't care. I'm not going to die on a hill for either side of whatever politics, whatever debate's going on. Like cars. He's like, as long as I got a car that runs, I don't care about, you know. It's like he's just, honestly, the best word I can say for it is just content. Mm-hmm. Like
maybe
he likes the life that he built for himself.
Yeah.
I want more out of mine, so we don't always see eye to eye in that way.
You have dreams,
but bigger dreams than what he accomplished. But I don't think there's a thing on this planet, except for maybe defending the life of his family, whether it's me or his dad or brothers, sisters, whatever. Even then, maybe not for his brothers or sisters, but for me. And maybe his dad. I could see him like stepping in front of somebody holding a gun to our heads, but other than that, he's
in terms of like a noble cause,
disassociated from stuff in the world. Like, okay, this charity's cool, but I'm not gonna like die because I'm blatantly speaking for it in front of the wrong people or something.
What if it was the end of the world and the Antichrist was beheading people for if they didn't renounce Christianity? Do you think he'd die for that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can say a lot of things here and there about my dad, good or bad, but he's very, very rooted. He's the house built on the rock guy, you know. That
strong in his faith.
The faith that is your stereotypical, you know, kind of the Baptist view. Like, there's not a lot of miracles going on. You're not going to go around seeing him. Like, I don't think he's big on the gifts of the Spirit kind of area. But he's big on just, do you believe in Jesus? Like you're saved, you're going to heaven. Yeah. So, in the meantime, just don't be an idiot. It's very simple, very basic. Like, you get what you get with him.
You know, you have your visionaries and you have your I think there's humans are like fruit on a tree of a variety of fruits, you know.
The forbidden fruit?
You got your people with dreams.
Don't eat people. We're commanded not to eat the dang fruit in the Bible.
True.
No cannibalism allowed. Be civil, people. It's not that hard.
In the box of crayons, that's humanity. There's yellows, there's reds, there's blues.
Blue-green's my favorite color in the Crayola box.
Some crayons are not the brightest crayons in the box. And I'm not saying that about your dad. I'm just saying,
he's
you're a
the
dreamer.
White crayon.
You're a dreamer. You're a dreamer. There's things.
He's the white crayon.
There's things in you that will not set still if you do not pursue them, And not everybody's like that. I'm like that in a lot of ways. There's things that I'm passionate about that I carve out time for it every week or every day, whether it be podcast, business, gym, singing,
The daily activity is stay in passivity, is play the hand given me, pray and ask timidly for a better life, It's Nate Weisen talks about it a little bit. Like, you can't people sit around and just watch your dreams.
Yeah.
The clock on your life ticks down daily.
Don't have that obsession, and that's fine. That's okay. I really am not hating on anybody who does it. I'm just saying that's certainly me and you for some reason.
For some reason, there's that thing that's put in our hearts that there's a balance between, I think, being content with what you have and striving for more.
Yeah. And
I think a lot of people take contentment as such a good and noble thing and just stay there, and they never fulfill the potential that they have. Coming from the Christian perspective, I'd say, is that being a good steward of the skills, gifts, abilities, passions, time that God has given you? You're not being a good steward of those things because you're given a talent and you're hiding it in the ground, and then you're digging it back up at the end of your life, and hey, I didn't, I have these passions, but I didn't do anything with them, but here you go, it's yours now, again.
Well, it's like in the Old Testament, in the Torah, when the tabernacle was being built, God chose some people who were good in tapestry. Some people were good in jewels. Some people were good in beating. God.
Especially after those fallen angels came down and taught men all the
Rather to be God, the muse, architects outside of a simulation. I don't think that whoever it is wants us to hide our light under a bushel basket,
Hide it under a bushel. No.
Let the devil blow it out. No. Speaking of lights and not letting the devil blow it out, that is an excellent segue.
Check out Nate Weisen's new
single. Our main point of discussion today.
Yeah, it goes right into that new single Nate Weisen just dropped. Lights go out. It's about if the power grid shuts down, if tragedy strikes for whatever reason, are you ready? Yes. Would you be okay? What will you do?
What would you do?
Hanukkah. So let's...
Our Hanukkah special.
Yeah. So what's the origin of Hanukkah to start off with?
Well, so in the days of Antiochus Epiphanes...
What are these dates? When was he alive?
I believe this took place roughly 130 years before Christ.
Before Christ?
Yes. Oh, yeah. This is before Christ. It mentions Hanukkah in the Gospel of John. I believe John chapter 9.
So this is going to start during those
Feast of dedication.
400 years of silence.
Hanukkah is Hebrew for dedication.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we go to the prophets of the Old Testament after Malachi, there's that mysterious 400 years of basically nothing.
This is about,
and this formed during that time.
Between then and the New Testament, the earliest gospel of the New Testament, which would be the Gospel of Mark, this is about 3/4 of a way through there. So it's not quite halfway, but 130 to 150 years before Christ.
So very little spiritual movement, very little, there's no prophets walking around anymore. There's eventually there's going to be the final prophet that we have, John the Baptist, but that's going to be like right before Jesus. So we're still in this no man's land of biblical history here.
I believe the rabbis, they taught that the last prophet was Malachi. After Malachi, the age of prophets was over.
Didn't Jesus say that John the Baptist was a prophet?
He did, but that's I'm quoting from the thought of Judaism.
Okay.
Yes. So
okay, how does Judaism view the life of Jesus?
It would depend. That he's not a part of like the Jewish cosmology. Like he's not within that. He's not part of that theological structure. But various rabbis will have their opinion about Jesus. Some rabbis would say he was a good Torah observant Jew. Some say that he was. Some would say that he was not a good Jew. Most agree that he existed. There's passages in the Talmud that are a little negative that some believe to be referencing Jesus, but
Judaism believed in a Messiah, right?
Yes.
But they didn't believe Jesus was that Messiah?
Yes, they believe in the Messiah, but they don't believe Jesus is that Messiah. Their idea of a Messiah, too...
Therefore, they wouldn't believe that John the Baptist was the last prophet.
Yes.
Okay.
And their idea of the Messiah isn't so much as like God coming down and becoming a human, and... These just the idea of God becoming a human and dying as a sacrifice. That's not how the Messiah looks within Judaism. And within Judaism, the Messiah is more of a figure that comes as a conquering king to set an order of peace throughout the world. So,
yeah, where I'm coming from is us Jesus believing people. John the Baptist, last prophet.
Yep.
After that, he got the gift of the Holy Spirit of prophecy. And basically anybody could be a prophet through inspiration of the Holy Spirit today. I got a question that's unrelated to Hanukkah about the gifts of the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Are they supposed to be for anybody that asks for them, or are they apportioned as the Spirit sees fit? Like, you are going to get this gift regardless of if you ask for a different one, or do you get what you ask for?
I'll put myself within that frame of thinking. I think it would be off the premise of how the Spirit sees fit.
Interesting. Okay. Anyway,
kind of going back to the reference of the Old Testament with the building of the tabernacle. These are people with gifts that the Spirit recognized that gift in them, that they already had it. And it's just like you need to take this further.
Yeah.
So Hanukkah.
The days of Antiochus Epiphanes.
Judea stood under the weight of decrees designed to uproot the Jewish spirit.
Until somebody had an epiphany.
This was not ordinary oppression. Temples could be burned, but Antiochus sought something deeper, a transformation of the inner world.
The frick is the inner world?
The beliefs of the Jews.
Hollow Earth.
Maybe.
Lizard people.
The Jews were commanded to abandon their ancestral practices, abandon circumcision, abandon Sabbath observance, and abandon the covenant itself. Antiochus set up idols in the temple, in King Solomon's temple, this would be the second temple. Was
this in the days of Dagon? Is that what it's talking about? Was he that?
No.
No. Sorry, that was Dagon. Way before this. Okay, so yeah.
A transformation of the inner world. The Jews were commanded to abandon their... Okay, I read that. Antiochus set up idols in the temple. He sacrificed swine on the altar. And outlawed the practices that defined Jewish identity. Jewish identity is in Israel? Like the practices that's kind of the pivotal parts of the...
Like the Leviticus law
Jewish
stuff?
temple cult. Yeah. Kosher, the sacrificial system.
Kosher, don't sleep with your mom, don't kill people.
All the
city
good
of
things.
refuge stuff, yeah. Don't wear clothes that are 2 types of fabric.
Yeah. Scholars describe this period not simply as political domination, but as a cultural assault. A deliberate attempt to erase a people by erasing the practices that made them who they were.
Making them have no pride anymore in who they are.
Yeah, interesting kind of in
control is like today's politics. Segment. Is that where you're going?
No, I was saying with the pondering segment we were talking about things worth dying for.
It's the demoralization of a culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. Second Maccabees preserves painful accounts of those who resisted. One of the earliest and most poignant stories is that of Eleazar, an elderly scribe described as distinguished, noble, and advanced in age. He was ordered to eat pork, a violation of the Torah.
But
he
didn't.
He didn't. His friends who knew him personally tried to persuade him to fake it. Like, eat this mutton, eat this lamb, and pretend it's pork. Bring your own meat, they suggested softly, and pretend to eat what the king commands.
But you would set no example this way.
Yes, yeah.
And so, it's kind of the spirit of the law versus letter of the law thing going on.
Yes.
So he refused again.
He declared that deception was unworthy of his years and dishonorable to those who looked up to him as an example.
Worthy of his years.
Yeah. He lived his whole life being pious and
us elderly people can't be deceitful.
Walking the tightrope, and now he's gonna tarnish his lifelong legacy of setting an example. No. Not today.
Well, the story isn't happy, though, how it ends for Mr. Eleazar.
Choosing integrity over survival, he was tortured to death. Not with rage, but with noble words, insisting he would rather die faithful than live in dishonor. Academics often highlight Eleazar's story as an early example of martyrdom formed around identity, fidelity. His death becomes a theological statement that the covenant was worth more than life itself.
That's that hill to die on, that cause that you believe is bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm. The traditions of his fathers that they handed down to him, and he intended on handing down to the younger generation.
So, yes, Eleazar, blah, 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 good example, early martyr. He may be thinking, how does this tie to Hanukkah?
This is all this is the story.
This is leading up.
Yeah, just relax.
The full context is coming.
This is the
relax,
this is the story, people. The context.
Hang in there.
Even more haunting in the story that follows, a mother and her 7 sons arrested together and ordered to eat forbidden meat.
Which is weird, like like, come with us, you're under arrest. All right, now eat this freaking meat. Like, were they truly, like, forced to eat this stuff? Like, a sword at their throat, like, eat this or die? Or, like, was it just they're in prison and that's just what they were given?
If I remember correctly, the punishment was being boiled alive.
For not eating meat.
Not eating pork, yeah.
But, yeah, what I'm saying is, like, did they just sit them at a table and say, eat this or we'll boil you to death? Or were they put in prison, and that's just the only thing they were offered?
Probably publicly, because I imagine this was done to set an example.
Okay.
Yeah. Oops, I closed my little phone.
Hey, wait a minute. Isn't this in the Apocrypha somewhere?
Yeah.
I read this before.
This is in the Second Maccabees, yeah. One by one, the sons refused. One by one, they were tortured and killed.
Tortured? They were put, if this is the story I'm thinking of, they were put on one of those freaking stretching things that, like, pulls all your arms and legs apart.
You might be thinking about Braveheart, but
no,
I'm going to go...
No, I remember specifically there was a bunch of kids in one family that watched one after the other get put on some kind of torch, like a machine, that would kill them.
Okay.
Eventually. I don't remember if it was one of those stretcher things or if, like if it was something that crushed them. But regardless, it was painful. It was a bad way to die. It looked bad. It was not noble. It's painful. Like, there's every reason for you to go along with whatever they're doing, for you to refuse eating this meat. but they still chose to refuse.
Mm-hmm. And the oldest
despite
one
what was coming.
declared, "We are ready to die rather than transgress the laws of our ancestors." Each son spoke words of defiance, hope, and faith, insisting that God would restore them, their resurrection. Around this time, the belief in the resurrection was really starting to develop. He said that the covenant endured beyond death. Their mother strengthened them and encouraged each son as though she herself were unbreakable. Scholars note that this mother becomes one of the first great Jewish heroines of faith, her courage shaping later Jewish and Christian martyr traditions. Her story electrified later Jewish memory and gave profound emotional force to the revolt that followed. In the worldview of ancient Judea, these deaths were not meaningless. They were catalysts, cries that echoed through the hills of the Maccabees.
And you know what happens when you push somebody, you push people.
Yeah.
Eventually they start pushing back because they get sick of it.
So if this were a movie, this would be the scene where it's just showing the context of how bad things are. And you're watching the scene and you're thinking to yourself, where the hell is the hero in all of this? Well, the universe sent a hero.
You know, well, yes, behind your chair. Dropped his notes.
I dropped my notes. Well, the universe sent a hero. The martyrdoms of the desecration of the temple and the assault on Jewish tradition formed the context in which rebellion ignited. In the village of Modin, Matthias, a priest, refused sacrifice to Greek gods. His refusal was not quiet. With a shout, he declared his loyalty to the covenant and rallied those who wished to remain faithful.
Was he the dude that went from like rooftop to rooftop yelling it?
I'm not sure.
I gotta reread a lot of these books. I got like all the stories just jumbled together.
After his death, leadership passed to his son Judah.
Judah. Is this the Israel Judah?
No. He's named after him. It's his great ancestor.
No, I mean, sorry. I mean, is he from that line?
The line of Judah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
By this time, the other 10 tribes had broken away. It's been a few hundred years. So, like, probably 600 years
So
since
all
then.
that is now here would be Israel and Judah, right?
Just Judah.
Just Judah.
Yeah, the other tribes had broken away.
Even little Benjamin?
Little Benjamin, I believe, ended up assimilating into Judah to where they're not really big enough to be seen as their own tribe. I believe the Apostle Paul claims to be a Benjamite.
So leadership passed to Judah.
Judah, known to history as Judah Maccabee, the Hammer. Judah and
we'll call him Thor.
Judah and his followers struck from the hills with fierce determination. They fought small, mobile battles. They struck quickly, vanished into rocky terrain. Down the mighty
and wore down
Seleucid forces through strategy and endurance. Military historians often remarked that the Maccabees were one of history's earliest recorded guerrilla movements. Small bands of fighters defeating an imperial army through commitment, terrain mastery, and moral fire.
Moral fire? The frick is that?
They're the small
minority standing up for a good cause.
Yeah, they're not able to rally together in a massive army, so they're striking from the shadows strategically.
So, victory, little victory. They're making progress until we finally get back to this temple we love talking so much about.
Mm-hmm. After 3 long years of revolt, the Maccabees fought their way into Jerusalem and stood before the wreckage of the temple, the defiled altars, the idols, and the shattered menorah. all bore witness to a spiritual devastation meant to extinguish a people. The temple was purified, stones were replaced, the altar was rebuilt, sacred space was restored.
No more pigs on this altar.
Nope. Only lambs.
Got rid of the idols.
Calves, goats.
Cleaned up their
doves.
acts.
In the search of pure oil to relight the menorah, only a single sealed jar was found. Enough, it seemed, for one night alone.
All right, hold on a minute here. What's a menorah?
That is the 8-stemmed candle in the temple.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what it's called.
And one that a smaller version of that Jews light during Hanukkah is called a Hanukkah.
Yeah, and that one only has like what, 5?
Many call
6.
No, you're thinking about the Kwanzaa menorah. They have 8 because there's 8 nights of Hanukkah. You light one on each night. Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Yeah. The earliest sources, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, record the cleansing, the rededication, and the 8-day celebration that followed. So this is the very first Hanukkah.
Okay, I see. It was a cleansing and rededication of the temple.
Yes, and again, Hanukkah is Hebrew for dedication.
Chanukah.
It says, and I believe it's John chapter 9, Jesus was in Jerusalem at the Feast of Dedication. So in Hebrew, that would be
Hanukkah.
The Feast of Hanukkah. Yes. Yet they did not mention any miraculous oil. They emphasized the victory, the liberation, and the restoration of Jewish practice.
What would be miraculous oil? Like oil of anointing? Anointing oil?
So there's the story in the Talmud of they go to light the menorah. There's only enough to last one night. And it's going to be at least 8 days before they have more new oil. Yes, and that one little bit of oil lasts 8 nights. That's not in the story of
miracle
the books
oil.
of 1st or 2nd Maccabees, but that is in the Talmud. And
5 bread and 2 fish oil edition.
Yeah. Along the same vein. Academics generally agree that the miracle of the oil emerges later in the Talmud. The rabbinic tradition tells that one day supply burned for 8 days, long enough for new oil to be produced. Many scholars believe the rabbis introduced this miracle to spiritualize the holiday that had military origins, shifting the focus from weapons to light, from warfare to faith.
So would these scholars then claim that there is actually no miraculous thing in the oil and they just made up this story so that it would be a spiritual thing? Is that what they're saying?
Some scholars are more cautious to say something like that didn't completely happen. But they're saying that the emphasis put on the miracle of the lights versus the military success, that's the byproduct of the holiday evolving, the culture evolving, after
almost shaping it into what they wanted it to be rather than what's
like
historically accurate.
After the destruction of the Second Temple in 60 AD and the Jews were dispersed, I think they kind of wanted to distance themselves from being seen as a military people, because that revolt, before the destruction of the Second Temple, after the days of Jesus, there was a revolt led by Judah Bar Kokhba. He was a Jewish zealot who he believed. I'm not sure if he believed himself to be the Messiah, but he had a strong following within Judea that believed him to be the Messiah. So they led this revolt against the Roman Empire and were squashed. And as the Romans made an example of, this is what happens when you rebel against the Roman Empire. They destroyed the Second Temple, and they put a temple of Jupiter where the temple once stood, where the Jewish temple once stood. But back to this. The Talmud's story deepens the meaning of the small flame that should have died, became a lasting light. A fragile spark of holiness refused to fade. It burned and burned. 8 days against all logic. It was a sign that divine presence remained, that light is stronger than desecration, and that sacred cannot be extinguished by decree.
There's nothing man-made that can stand in front of the will of God and succeed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That this is noble, this is right, this is for the temple, it needs to be cleansed of idols, and it is going to take some miraculous interference, I guess, some supernatural influence to bring about, and so it's just more legit for the stories to be told later. It's like, look, this is important enough that God himself was involved, or at least some kind of miracle happened.
Yeah. Wait, it was a small people defeating a very great force, which, that it is a miracle.
That's the whole story of the Bible, is the minority.
Well, and for Christians, if this hadn't happened, Jesus would have never happened.
Why?
Well, there would have been no... He came from the line of David. If
the people
Jewish
died
culture,
out,
if Jewish culture was crushed, there would have been no Jesus.
I'm
King
sure
of the Jews.
that the bloodline would have continued in hiding somehow.
Maybe, but that's not how it happened.
It's like Revelation, how people are going to run to the hills and hide and all that. It's like there are going to be people you're going to see them because they're all hiding and fearful for their lives. The movement's still there, but it's just it's not going to be publicized.
Mm-hmm. Here's what some Kabbalistic thinkers think about Hanukkah. Kabbalistic thinkers expand the story further. They teach that Hanukkah is not merely about oil, but about the hidden light, or Hagunas, the primordial radiance created on the first day of creation, before the sun and stars existed. This light, too powerful for the world, was concealed within creation, hidden within sparks.
These Gnostics keep coming around in our podcast, man, I'm telling you.
I like it. I like it. On Hanukkah, this hidden light returns. Each candle draws down a trace of the original radiance.
Ooh.
Each flame becomes a conduit of transcendence. The mystics teach that true miracle is that the Jewish people lit the lamp at all. That in a moment of exhaustion, devastation, and fear, they chose to kindle light. They acted beyond reason, and the universe responded with abundance.
There's something Christians and Gnostics can agree on right there.
Mm-hmm.
You focus on the keep your heart set on things above kind of thinking. And,
in a world where there's plenty who don't, being somebody who does.
God has good things planned for you, Jeremiah 29. What's that one in Romans I'm trying to think of, too? I don't know. Go read Romans. You'll see it somewhere.
Okay. So here's some ending.
God brings good about to those who are called according to his purpose.
There we go.
Those who do his will, good things are going to happen. You'll reap what you sow, I suppose. Draw near to God, and he'll draw near to you. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that we could... Yeah.
Karmic energy. Yeah. Some ending tidbits. In Jewish symbolism, 7 represents natural order, the rhythm of creation.
I thought that was like completion.
8 represents what lies beyond the infinite, the transcendent, the breaking of boundaries. Hanukkah's 8 days symbolizes a moment when divine reality overflowed into the world. Scholars see it as a theological statement that this victory and this endurance reach beyond human capacity. Mystics see 8 as a bridge, the connection between time and eternity, between earthly and struggle, and heavenly light.
There's so many greater miracles throughout history than this. It's crazy that a whole holiday of such importance these days has come from just, oh, this oil didn't burn out. You know what I mean? Like, where's our celebration of the sun standing still for that battle Joshua led? Where's our celebration for this serpent coming out of a staff and then turning back into a staff again?
Well,
like, come on.
Those are like Iron Age biblical stories, to where a lot of scholars actually debate whether or not those were just legend, to where the Maccabees, they're close enough in history to where we do know that they existed, their actions are recorded, and the impact of their actions, echo even into the days of Jesus.
Well, I guess just choose what you believe. The legacy of flaming faith. Hanukkah is a festival born of revolt, martyrdom, rededication, and miracle. A tapestry woven from blood, courage, and radiance. The stories of Eleazar and the 7 brothers reveal the depths of devotion that preceded the Maccabean victory. The revolt itself expresses the longing for spiritual freedom. The miracle of the oil expresses the truth that even when strength runs out, light does not.
Through academic analysis, we see the historical struggle for identity. Through rabbinic teaching, we see the power of spiritual resilience. Through Kabbalah, we see the cosmic drama of light and darkness. Hanukkah endures as a reminder that identity cannot be erased by force, that faith can outlast empire, and that even the smallest spark, once lit, can push back the vastness of the night.
It's
and that does it.
That's
the Hanukkah special, everybody.
That's all the notes. It's interesting that happened at Search for Identity right before Jesus came and gave his followers an identity. So can a Christian celebrate Hanukkah?
Well,
I would say so.
Mm-hmm. I know some who do.
Even us Protestants, where's my fellow Protestants?
As a
non-denominationals,
growing up in the Messianic Hebrew Roots movement, I celebrated Hanukkah growing up. For those of you that didn't know,
if you missed that episode, it's called "Were We in a Cult?" Go check that one out.
Or episode 1 where I give my origin story. But
so we got Hanukkah, celebration of the divine
light.
I keep struggling with this word. The divine
essence.
Influence on this
a
oil.
Little bit of what's above.
Rededication of this temple.
Mm-hmm.
Hanukkah.
Well, and there are many I would say Messianic Jews who they interpret Hanukkah as being like a foreshadowing of Jesus. The light within darkness.
If you celebrate Hanukkah,
of persecution,
tell us in the comments where you're from, like what country and what religion.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see all the people that celebrate it.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't we roll on over to our final segment of the show?
Listen up, where we give you our musical suggestions of all the good tunes we've been listening to throughout the past week and let you into our inner sanctum of what keeps us going throughout the work weeks.
So, for my suggestions today, since it's the Hanukkah special, I'm going to do a few Jewish artists that back in the day I grew up on.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is one of them Lion of Judah?
No, I don't know who they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
I actually think your sister.
Judah and the Lion.
Whatever, the same thing. Okay, Judah and the Lion.
Shout out to my sister, Sarah.
Yeah, she recommended them to me, way back in the Disney.
Mm-hmm, I'm sure she did.
What's that supposed to mean?
So my musical suggestions are Believers by Nossinzan. Nossinzan.
That sounds German.
It's Hebrew. Youth by Matis Yahu. That's Hebrew for
That
Matthew.
sounds Hebrew.
That's Hebrew for Matthew. Matisyahu. Some would say Matithyahu. But I believe it's the Ashkenazis that they put the Matisyahu.
Just listen to America by Rammstein. That's my suggestion for you.
Any others?
Oh, me? Yeah, I'm looking at the banjo sitting in the corner, so, you want some good old-fashioned bluegrass gospel? Bill Gaither. Gaither Vocal Band. Yeah, my grandma used to listen to them all the time. Listen to some Grandpa Jones. Listen to some, who else is some bluegrass? Listen to old String Bean. Some Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. Some Pickin' and Grinnin's.
Some Lenny Kravitz.
Oh.
Lenny Kravitz is Jewish. Roy
Clark. Listen to any of the guys that were on that old show, Hee Haw. Hey, that show ran for like 30-some years. One of the longest runs in history.
Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan, another famous Jewish singer.
Tangled Up in Blue.
Or a Rolling Stone. Like a Rolling Stone. Forever young. Times like they are changing.
Listen to Cover of the Rolling Stones. Yeah, I forget who sings it, but that's the name of the song.
Are you going to Come My Way by Lenny Kravitz?
Cover of Rolling Stones. Ooh. Go check out some Stone Temple Pilots. Here's some classics.
Sex type thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn how to sing that one. I am. That was not me singing, by the way. I am much better than that, I would like to think.
Trouble. Who sings that? Is that Travis Tritt? Trouble? I think it's Travis Tritt.
I don't know.
That was a pretty good one. Digging into some oldies today.
I instantly went to Trouble by Taylor Swift, your old girlfriend.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
Shame on me now.
Oh, man, dude. I used to listen to Taylor Swift like crazy.
I know you did.
Up to a certain point, I had like every album she ever came out with. I had like the DVDs, the posters. Same with Eminem. I had all his stuff too.
I almost feel like you mentioned Taylor Swift on the last holiday special that we did for Halloween.
Did I?
Maybe. Possibly.
Check out her
Probably
new
not.
album, Life of a Showgirl. You know, I think Reputation was like a fantastic album. I was like 2017 or 18. All of her stuff since then, I've like hated it. But she came out with this new one that instead of like a 2 out of 10, I give it like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 10. It's a little better, but
looks
still.
like Taylor's shaping up a little bit.
Yeah, she ain't what she used to be. Even though she's more popular now than ever. Whatever, I don't get it.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen, how the streets are desolate, and how many weep for the loss of what Taylor Swift once was.
On some old news now, but Eminem has this album where he released a song that was from back like in the
This is going to actually be released a couple days after recording because Hanukkah starts on the 14th.
Well, if I knew any songs that just dropped, I'd shout them out. Go sign up for the operator standard that Andy Frisella is running. And by the time this drops, it might be the last day. Make yourself better.
Oh, hey, what was that song we were listening to in the basement by
Chris Webby?
Chris Webby.
Yeah, he's got a song. I didn't know that it was a cover of a different song, or a parody of a different song, but it's called Condition.
Yeah.
And it's by Kenny Rogers and what?
And the Addition.
Kenny Rogers and the Addition.
Just Checked In is the name of the song.
Just checked in to see what condition my condition is in.
Yeah.
I had no freaking clue.
Just Dropped In by Kenny Rogers in the First Edition.
Just dropped in to see what condition my condition is in. Chris Webby has a freaking rap that the chorus is the same. Now, Chris, his song is just about I stopped in to see what condition my condition is in, just talking about doing drugs. it's listener beware, it's not child friendly.
It is not.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a cover. I'm glad you showed me, though.
I just heard it, and I heard the chorus, and I was like, oh, this is... He's riffing off from a...
How many rappers do you know that freaking reference Kenny Rogers, of all people? I think that's kind of cool.
The only one that I can think of is, like, Eminem. He does that Sing for the Moment. Songs like that he's doing...
Yeah, the Dido one.
Aerosmith's.
Stan.
Dream On.
Like, Toy Soldiers was one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like... He's always done that. He always has.
Toy Soldiers, what song is that riffing off?
I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. That one uses some samples off of a song called, you guessed it, Toy Soldiers by Martika.
I see. Well, the more you know. The more you know.
Yeah, he's always, ever since the Eminem show, has sampled other artists. And it's not necessarily old, it's just other artists. You know, you like fast forward up to Marshall Mathers LP2, like 2013. He's got a bunch of modern features and even Recovery. You know, he's got Lil Wayne. Is it Lil Wayne that's on there?
Oh,
then he's got like Pink is on some.
Drop the World, yeah, with Lil Wayne.
And then he's got some Pink songs with Rihanna, songs with even Nicki Minaj, songs with Yeah, Roman's Revenge by Nicki Minaj featuring Eminem. It's around that same time. It's really stupid. Yeah, he's got one called Numb with Rihanna. That's a Rihanna song featuring him. Nobody's heard. I think on that song he's like, I'm the butt police and I'm looking at your rear. Yeah, anyway.
That's funny.
There's some musical suggestions, a whole bunch of them. So with that, let's wrap it up like safe sex and put a bow on it and ship it off to the masses without...
Send it out to the world as our Hanukkah gift unto the world.
Ship it out to the masses with no research, just like the vaccines.
Hey, I did plenty of research for this episode, buddy.
No research on how it'll negatively affect the people.
Yes, we don't know how this is going to land. That's better. All right, well, until next time, happy Hanukkah, and let's
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, too.
Yes, let's keep traversing this strange world with inquisitiveness, with curiosity.
And a little bit of swag sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, and since we walked into this life thing, let's remember to be neighborly to folks. Because at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange freaking land. Freaking land, man. All right, well, until next time, shalom. Peace.
Yeah, peace. Paz, as they say in Mexico.
Shalom, that's Hebrew for peace.
Paz.
Until next time.
Spanish for peace. How about that?
Peace.
Paz.
Paz.
P-A-Z. Paz.
Paz. Paz and toodles.
Paz and adios. Hey, what's goodbye in Hebrew?
I know Lila Tov is good night.
Shalom Lila Tov.
Boker Tov. Tov is good. What's a good day?
Is shalom, isn't that like a salutation too?
Shalom is peace.
Yeah, like you meet somebody, you say shalom. Don't you say the same thing when you're like, all right, bye, shalom?
Shalom, yeah.
Shalom and shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Until next time. Peace.
Toodles. That's me.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.
What will they think of next?